Hi everyone, it's Joanne here at Apple Tree Studio, and I've just finished painting the most wonderful tutorial for my Patreon channel, and it's a beautiful terracotta pot with lots of textures and some beautiful yellow primroses. It is such a beautiful tutorial. We're going to be looking at texture, negative painting. There's a lot involved in that. So what I thought was it would be nice to have a warm-up. So I've given that to my patrons, but I'm also going to be sharing the warm-up with you guys as well. And it's a really simple one. It's not a masterpiece, it doesn't have to be. It's just 3 simple primroses. And we are really looking at something that I go on and on and on and on and on about all the time. And that is negative painting, the importance of negative painting. I can't stress it enough. Once you get that skill under your belt, you're flying. Honestly, you really do need to get your head around it. And what better way to have fun and play and practice? So go grab your brushes and we'll paint some primroses together. Now, if you're enjoying these free tutorials, then please don't forget to subscribe. That would be great, it's free. Give me a like, a thumbs up. And if you'd like to take your art to the next level, then please do check out my Patreon channel. There are over 55, even 60 tutorials on there now, all watercolour. The subject matter ranges from florals to animals to people to landscapes. There is so much variety there. And you can also check out my single purchase tutorials, and all that information you will find on my website, which is www.artbyboon.co.uk. I don't think I need to say the www bit, do I? It's hard to say anyway. Okay, artbyboon.co.uk. Go grab your brushes and let's paint. So I've just finished filming this absolutely lovely tutorial. Primroses in a lovely tub, and there's a lot of techniques gone into this, and obviously I talk you through that from the beginning to the end, from the drawing to the finished washes. So I taught you through the process. But what I thought was, what would be nice is to have a little warm-up of the flowers, just the flowers themselves. And you can see that my flowers, some are facing forward, some are facing this way, and some are facing that way. And that's what I want us to concentrate on. So I'm going to move that because I know that I will spill something on it. So I've got a piece of Saunders Waterford here, and I'm just going to use the same colours that I've used on the demonstration there. So I've got a size 8 round brush, I've got a small mop, it's a size 2. I've always got my spray bottle, always got kitchen roll, always got clean water, and the colours are already on my palette really because I've just finished that tutorial, but I will be using some ultramarine blue, I will be using some turquoise, I'll be using some Scarlet, and I'll be using some Cadmium Yellow, and it is completely up to you. If you want to change those colours, that is fine. So I've got my drawing down, and it is a very, very loose drawing, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure we really need a drawing, but what I wanted to kind of share with you is how to sketch out a front facing flower and then 2 flowers that are going to come off from this side. So you can Google lots of images of primroses and flowers, and basically all it is really is this one is basically a circle, isn't it? This one is basically an ellipse facing that way, and this is the opposite, it's facing this way. So you've got that lovely curved shape rather than a circle, and I think that'll become more apparent as I put down the washes. So I'll start with my bigger brush. So let's think about this. Let's take some of that lovely cadmium yellow, drop a touch of that red into it, and let's start with this one that's face on. So let's pull out those lovely shapes from the centre like so. I can clean my brush and I can just soften and add some water, just pulling them, teasing them out a little bit. But that's perfect. We don't want to do any more to that one. So that's the centre one. So now let's think about one that's facing to the left here. So we wouldn't see this shape, would we? We would only see a section here maybe, definitely a little bit there coming out. Maybe a smidge that way, and oh, you might just see a little bit there, look. And all the time I'm keeping that little light if I can in the centre. Again, I can just soften those down. Come back to that and soften that as well. But you can see that really does help, doesn't it, to give that kind of direction. Let's do this one. Let's come in here. Here, we'll just have it coming out in a 3 again. Maybe a smidge more here. But really it is all about the shapes that you are pulling out to create that movement and a sense of direction. So these are wet, obviously. I think we'll keep them white for now, or a very light yellow. Yes, we'll do them a very light yellow. So let's just take our yellow, and I'm just going to push that into those petal shapes. And it is very, very light. It's almost water, because I don't really want to disturb the washes I've just put down. But I just want to tint that paper a little bit, just to take that whiteness away. I might come in and darken that little centre because I seem to have lost a bit of the orange. But for now, we should definitely just let this completely dry and try not to fiddle with it. I do like to spray mine occasionally, but there isn't much to spray, but I'll do it anyway, just because I love doing that. And I'm going to be very patient now and let this completely dry. So once you're nice and dry, you're now confident to start putting in some stronger washes. And I think you'll be surprised really, because I'm not going to paint the flowers much more than they already are. I will put a few shadows on them. But for me, it's about the negative painting and the shapes that you create around a light space. And we want these flowers to really jump from the page. So you're going to jump when you put your washes on. Because watercolour washes always dry lighter. So you do need to go dark, I'm afraid. Right, okay, what colours? Let's take some of that lovely turquoise, just because I love it. And let's come in here. Let's put that lovely thick colour here. Look, so we're painting around the shape of this flower. We're painting around the shape of that flower. We can come in with another colour. So I'll always clean my brush before I do that. Let's come in with a bit of that cadmium yellow and just let that flow into that wash. So already we are creating shapes. The shapes of the flowers, which are very important. And the lovely clean washes we're putting into the background. Let's come in with a different colour. Let's come in with some ultramarine blue. Now, I don't mind turning my picture upside down. In fact, I do it quite a lot. So it just makes life easier, because now I can be confident and put in some ultramarine blue here maybe. I might just drop some into that section as well, just so everything kind of ties in nicely. And, oh, okay, we'll see a little crevice there as well. So all I'm doing is just allowing these colours to mix together on the palette, on the paper rather than the palette. Let's put a bit of cadmium in there as well. Just allowing those washes to flow. And I've got to keep my eye on my water, keep my eye on that, because it's got to be clean. And I've also got to be mindful that I am not putting too many brush strokes into this, because the more you rub at your washes and fiddle with them, which is exactly what I'm doing now, they're going to become very, very muddy. So let's just give that a little shake and make a complete mess of my working area. So I'm just going to give that a quick wipe there. There we go. And look, we've done. We've created flowers without actually painting them. And this one is a nice simple one, isn't it? Because we're having that front on and it's going to sit in front of these two. I'm going to take my shadow colour, which is the ultramarine blue. I'm going to put a little bit of that red into that. Not too red, I want it to be more of a shadow colour. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing here, but with the shadow colour. I'm going to pull the wash from around that shape. So I'm just using the brush to draw with. I'm going to have lots of water now, and I'm just going to pull that down so it nudges into that flower, so that makes that sit behind it. And just because we're working wet into wet doesn't mean we can stop. Because we're about putting some greens in here that could be the stems of those flowers later on when we come in with the dark. I love the turquoise, so I'm going to come back in with that and cut into these shapes. Maybe a bit more blue on this side might be quite nice. Again, painting around those shapes now. Lots of water. You can see my board is on an angle, so gravity is doing a lot of the work for me. Let's put a bit more turquoise into that wash. And let's just let it do its own thing now. Because there comes a point when you can't fiddle with it. I know I want to tidy up around here. I'm desperate to do that. But I know that putting a wet brush into there and starting to meddle about with the top is going to ruin what I've got. So what I will do is, I'm going to give mine a little spritz. But I'm not going to spritz it now because it is absolutely soaking wet through. Just before it starts to dry, I'm going to spritz mine, and that's going to give me a little bit of texture in that background wash. So once your primroses are nice and dry, we can start to add a few more details now. So let's just take that ultramarine wash. I've put a little bit of that red into that as well, just a touch. And let's think about that centre flower again. This one that's facing on, so it's face on. So we're going to put a little shadow just around that lovely little light bit that we left earlier. I'm also going to introduce a few shadows just underneath some of the petals, just to kind of help them separate a little bit. So there's one. We'll have a little shadow coming underneath that one as well, perhaps. And I'm only picking a few. I'm not doing all of them. Maybe this one could have a little shadow there, look. I don't know why I whisper when I do that. Maybe we all have to whisper. Okay, that is fine. I do not want any more detail on that one. Let's find another one. So this one that's facing this way, we'll kind of have the light coming this way. So I'm going to just put in just a few darks on the inside and pull that out so it's going over that first wash that we put in. But it's just a lovely, gentle little shadow. What about this one here? Let's go round our little centre bit here and then just pull out some shadow from the centre. Again, I can just soften with my brush, just softening those marks down, letting them blend in. Don't worry about going over the lines. You're not being too perfect at this point. And now they're starting to take a bit more shape, aren't they? Again, let's take that shadow colour. It's such a versatile colour. Let's come underneath this one now and let's really put in quite a sharp dark here. Let's imagine we've got a nice stem kind of coming down from that one. I'll just soften that down. I'm just putting that lovely dark just where I want it. This one might have a stem as well, so let's not paint the stem. Let's just paint a shape around it. So we're just kind of creating that illusion of a stem. What about a stem from this one? Look, we could go, okay, let's not paint it. So we're not painting the stem, we're just painting around it. Like so. And for me, this painting is nearly finished. I'd like to just add a few more little darks. So I'm going to come in with my dark blue again, with that red. And I just want to do what I call a bit of housework. So just a little bit of tidying up on some of the shapes that I'm less than happy with. So for instance here, I find this a little bit too raggedy, this edge. So I'm going to come right in with that blue. Just do a bit of tidying up. Cleaning my brush and just allowing that dark just to flow into that wash, that dry wash underneath. I seem to have lost the shape here a little bit as well, so I'm going to come in, and it's not what I'm painting, it's what I'm not painting. I am not painting those flowers. I'm painting around them. Do I need any more? Oh, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because overworking is such an easy thing to do, isn't it? It really is. So I think I should put my brush down. So we've got this lovely illusion, haven't we? We've got this lovely illusion of this centre flower here. So we've radiated everything out from the centre. We've got a flower shape going this way. It's not perfect, but you know exactly what it is. And we've got a flower shape going this way. Again, it's not botanical, it's nice and loose. And I'm presuming that's why you wanted to watch this tutorial. So there you go. I've enjoyed that. If you have, then please do check out my Patreon channel or my single purchase tutorials, and you can find all that information on my website, which is artbyboon.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.